Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another one. So today I got a few things I want to do and let's go over it. So as I said in the previous video, I want to get this thing mocked up and welded into the downpipe. And what I would like to do today is finish the exhaust, get the narrowband O2s in there, and have this whole section just be completely done so I don't have to keep messing with it. So let's get started on that. I might even try to use the TIG welder on some of these pieces. So I'm going to cut this off, clean this up. I think what I want to do is just come straight out and off of this angle right here, just go straight into the pipe. So it's coming in bolt like that. So I might try to use the TIG welder on that. I also want to finish the two inside welds that I have to finish on here. I have one weld on the inside here that I have to do on this side and the other side. So what I want to do is get those two welds done, leak test this thing, and get it mounted in the car and see how it fits. So that would define success for me today. If I can finish the exhaust on the truck and get the oil pan finished and mounted in the car, I would be happy with that. I would also like to drive the truck a little bit and see if I can try to dial in the closed loop a little bit and maybe clean the garage. So those would be a bonus, but exhaust and oil pan, let's go. I did use the TIG welder on this part, and some of the spots actually look okay. First time I really welded two pieces of steel together with the TIG, so I do like it though. So I think I'm going to try practicing with some more steel. I like welding steel with the TIG, so I'll try that a little bit more. I got this thing marked out for where I want to cut this. This is the old line that I drew because I shifted this a little bit. I got this piece coming down now. It was a 2.5 to 2.5s, but I cut the end off of here to make it a 3-inch. And that's going to come straight back, and then I'm going to come back to the two Glasspacks. This is the piece I cut off of it. I just cut it big enough that it was actually same size as a 3-inch opening, cut at an angle, so should be pretty decent. Okay, so got the exhaust mocked up on jack stands. This is like kind of a front angle. That's what it'll look like from the side. I'll probably paint it black so you can't really see it as easy, but that's what it looks like from a distance. I'll have to add a piece in there, and then it's just basically the two of them coming back. Probably weld them together and somehow mount them to the cab or something like that. Well guys, I think this is my best work yet here. Check this out. Goes all the way back. Welded a hanger on there, just some threaded rod. And yeah, everything works pretty decent. I did weld on the bottom side, so these are actually welded together now. I had a lot of these gaps like this. This was like probably almost a 1/2-inch gap right here, and I just boogered all over it till it was closed. But yeah, let's throw it in. It's a pain to get it in. Alright, well hopefully you guys like the sound of the new exhaust. So I was going underneath because I was going to start draining the oil, and then I saw this. Isn't that great? So I was going to drain the oil so I could fix that broken bolt in the pan, because the pan's a little bit leaky now. And then I saw this under there. Couldn't really figure out where it was coming from, but I did just put a little bit of coolant in it yesterday, so I thought maybe it was just overpressured, pushed out somewhere. So I was doing a little bit more investigating. I look in my overflow, and I see that. And I just put clear, clean, brand new water in that yesterday. So it looked dark. Like, oh my god, there's oil in there. Dip my finger, and I pull it out. It's red. Transmission fluid in the coolant. Smells exactly like transmission fluid. And yeah, it's a little, I don't know. So basically I'm getting transmission fluid in the coolant, which may not be a huge deal. But the shitty part is if there's a hole inside this system, inside the radiator is pressurized when this system is not pressurized, so it's going to push all the coolant into the transmission. So hopefully that didn't happen. I'm going to drain it and see where we're at. So yeah, hopefully I caught it early enough. I know I checked this thing last night and it was clean. It had green fluid in it, and then I put a little bit of water in it. And I took it out today and drove it for about 15 minutes after I put the exhaust on. So hopefully I caught it soon enough that there's not a whole bunch of junk in the transmission, but we'll see. Okay, drained all of the coolant. This was in the catch can, or the overflow, whatever you want to call it. I think I actually got pretty lucky here. I caught it very early. I'm going to let these sit overnight and see if there's any more separation, but this is out of the catch can. You can see there's clear separation, and it definitely is red transmission fluid at the top. So it did burp out whatever was in there, so there was transmission fluid getting into the coolant, but that looks like it was just into the overflow. So that is pretty good. I feel like I caught it pretty early, so probably could have been a lot worse. I also drained all the transmission fluid. This all looks really good, and I'm going to leave this again overnight and see if there's any other separation, but it doesn't look like there's any issues with this. And going forward, I think I'm going to just eliminate this whole deal, plug these, so I'll have to find a thread. I don't know what thread that is, but I'll have to figure it out. And then I think I'm just going to plug these, eliminate the cooler lines that are going through the radiator, and basically loop them down here, but still using the cooler. So just have to loop the two that are going to and coming from the radiator, and then it'll still use the trans cooler, and that should be pretty good. So while I'm dealing with the trans fluid and the coolant, I might as well do the oil and fix that oil pan. I did go underneath to check. It did have some wetness on the oil pan in a different spot, but it looked like the oil that was coming up from higher from the valve covers is gone, because there was, after I drive it for a couple days, there was oil basically on the outside starter bolt, and there was some on the other side of the bell housing, and that wasn't there at all, so that's pretty good. Now I just got to fix that oil pan from the broken bolt, and then it shouldn't leak anything, and yeah.